What's up guys, my name's Brandon and I've been using iOS 13.3.1 for a few days now, and I wanted to give you guys an update as to how it's been running for me in terms of performance, battery life, connectivity, bugs, bug fixes, and more. So I've been using this software primarily on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is my daily device of choice, but I've also tested it on the iPhone XR, the iPhone 6s, and also my iPad Pro right here as well. And overall, it's been surprisingly solid in almost every category, almost every aspect of the software. So as you guys know, I've been a little bit disappointed in these follow-up reviews lately, largely because iOS 13 has just been kind of underwhelming, but iOS 13.3.1 has been a pleasant experience so far on all the devices I've tested it on. Now, one of the big new features in iOS 13.3.1 was the toggle inside of settings, privacy, location services, system services. We have the new toggle right there for networking and wireless. And when you go to disable that, you can see there it says it may affect Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and ultra wideband performance. So this was basically just for that U1 chip. I talked about it in previous videos. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch my original video on 13.3.1. Now, the thing about this is this was supposedly only for the iPhone 11 model, since the U1 chip was only in the iPhone 11 models. But it seems that that toggle there is actually on all devices that support 13.3.1. And just to show you guys, I have my iPhone 6s right here. And if we go into our privacy, location services, and then go down to system services, you can see we have that exact toggle right there. Now, when you go to disable it, it does not say anything about ultra wideband, but it does say something about affecting Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So there is a little bit of a difference in the description for this toggle, but it's pretty interesting that Apple included this also for devices without that U1 chip. So just a very interesting note that I did notice after using the software for a few days. Now, a lot of people have also been wondering if turning this toggle off impacts battery. So a lot of people on my last video were asking, if I turn this toggle off, does that mean I'm going to save battery, since essentially it's going to turn off like the U1 chip and the stuff that it does to track your location. So it made sense in theory that it would save battery life, but I've been testing this every day. I would go one day with it on, one day with the toggle turned off, and I did not notice any difference in battery life. Unfortunately, it would have been nice, because that would have been a very nice tip to add into my big list of tips for saving battery, because not a lot of people are going to know about this. So unfortunately, I did not see a change in battery. I will continue testing this. Of course, it hasn't been too long since the software has been out, just under a week. So I will continue testing this and continue, performing these little experiments, these little tests with this to see if it saves battery life in the long run. And I will get back to you guys if I notice any kind of other change. Now, of course, turning this toggle off also does say that it does impact Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But once again, I have not noticed anything abnormal with this toggle turned off. I did notice that my Wi-Fi sometimes just wouldn't load even with Google searches until I turned Wi-Fi off and back on. So I'm not sure if that has to do with this toggle being turned off. I can't say that for sure just yet, but once again, I will continue testing that over the next couple of weeks and months and see if there is any kind of impact in terms of connectivity when you turn this toggle off. Now, another issue that allegedly got addressed in 13.3.1 was this one right here, where it says addresses an issue that could cause a momentary delay before editing a deep fusion photo taken on iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. Now, I tested this on a device on 13.3. Actually, my iPhone 11 here is on 13.3 still. So I tested this out compared to 13.3.1. And I never had this issue to begin with, where there was like a little delay when going to edit photos. But I actually noticed when testing this that 13.3.1 for some reason actually had a delay, if anything, like more of a delay. I wouldn't even call it a delay, but it was a little bit slower than 13.3 for some reason. And just to test this again, I will try a little experiment here. So just go and take the picture at the same time, and let's go to edit. So I guess you can see a little bit of a delay there. See, that's 13.3.1. I still can't edit on 13.3.1. Take a look at that. It's grayed out down there. There we go. Now I can edit. But on 13.3, it showed that I could edit right away. So I think this was actually, introduced, at least for me, this was introduced with 13.3.1. I did not have this issue on 13.3, but now on 13.3.1, you guys just saw it live there. That was the first time I did that on camera, and it seems that there's a delay on 13.3.1 and not 13.3. So very weird. If anything, I think that the delay is actually on 13.3.1. So let me know if you guys have that as well when it comes to editing deep fusion photos on the iPhone 11s. Now, another issue that was fixed in this update is this one right here, where it says resolves an issue where push notifications could fail to be delivered over Wi-Fi. And after people seeing that in my original 13.3.1 video, somebody pointed out that maybe that was the reason I was having the text message notification bug, which if you guys don't know, basically when I get a text message and my phone is locked, I won't hear a sound, I won't have a vibrate, my phone won't even light up when I get that text message. I won't even know I have a message until I tap the screen and see I have an unread message. And it would have been like from 30 minutes ago. So it's very frustrating, especially if there was like some kind of emergency text or something like that. I don't know. It's just very, very frustrating, the fact that I don't get notified when I have a text message. So somebody in my last video, a couple people actually thought that this bug could have been addressing that. It could fix that. But unfortunately, I can confirm that that bug does still exist in 13.3.1 on all devices. And I did even post this over on Twitter, and you can see it got quite a bit of traction over there. A lot of people seem to agree and also have this issue with the text message notification bug. So if you guys aren't following me on Twitter as well, go ahead and follow me over there. It's just at Brandon Butch. Now this update did also fix some of the mail bugs, but apparently there are still lots of people out there with bugs in the mail application. I've seen some of you guys commenting that you're still getting the cannot verify server message in mail, like it would be down here where it would just say, you know, it could not verify the server. And then other people like Tip Drill here saying that their emails aren't popping up until they open mail or plug into charge, and then they all pop up at once. I've seen that a couple of times. Now, me personally, I have not had issues with mail in a while. It's been months since I've had any issues with mail, and 13.3.1, and like I said, I use mail every single day, like numerous times throughout the entire day, every single day, including weekends. So I use the mail application a ton, and I have no bugs or no issues at all. CarPlay issues all seem to be resolved as well now. Quite a few people did have issues with CarPlay crashing and disconnecting, but that has been fixed with this update, along with the fix that was listed in the release notes about the distortion noise. And every other bug fix does seem to be making people happy overall. I've heard a lot more of a positive response to this update versus a negative response, especially when it comes to the battery life. So let's talk about battery life here. Battery life for me on 13.3.1 has been very, very good. And for most people as well, in my comment section on social media, everywhere I've looked, pretty much everybody says that the battery life is really good, and in some cases better on 13.3.1 compared to 13.3. Now, apparently a lot of people had battery drain issues with iOS 13.3, and 13.3.1 fixed that issue, and their battery no longer drains as quickly. I saw numerous reports of this in my comment section on social media, everywhere, with most of those people being on the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. For some reason, those were the two devices that got affected, I guess, the most with the battery drain in 13.3, and 13.3.1 supposedly resolved that issue. Now, as far as my battery stats go on my 11 Pro Max, which I do use every single day, you can see there, this doesn't really give you a great chart, but I've been going to sleep with at least like 40%, 30 to 40% of battery every single night, which is very, very strong. And it's not too much better than 13.3 for me on my 11 Pro Max. I maybe have like 5 minutes more, 5 to 10 minutes more of on-screen time than 13.3. So not a huge difference, but it is a trend in the right direction. I am getting better battery life on 13.3.1 compared to 13.3. And I guess it's more noticeable on the older devices, because that's where I've been seeing people say a lot of how much better the battery life is on this update. So if you are on an older device, maybe even like a 10R, I have been seeing people on the 10R also say the battery life is better. So it seems that the older devices are getting better battery life with this specific update. I've seen some of you guys with older devices claim that this update brought some speed improvements to your 6Ss, your SEs, and your iPhone 7 Pluses. And I did notice a small improvement on my 6S as well, which I did note in my original video. And it's mainly just like in the settings, things aren't as slow and they don't stutter and they don't pause as much. But aside from that, it's not really too much different from 13.3. But some of you guys do seem to think it's a little bit faster. That could just be the placebo effect though. And of course, if you have an iPhone 11 Pro, Pro Max, or even a 10S, 10R, you're probably not going to see any difference at all when it comes to performance. However, the bug fixes could make it seem a little bit faster and a little bit smoother just because you don't have those bugs anymore. So yeah, overall, iOS 13.3.1 is a great software update that fixes a lot of bugs, adds in a couple new features, and improves the battery life for some, and that makes this a very worthy update with no real downside. Now, since we don't have any currently running iOS betas, I would expect to see a new iOS beta start as early as February 3rd. So possibly the week of February 3rd is when we could see iOS 13.4 Beta 1. Now, it's possible to see in iOS 13.3.2, and that would probably be a public release, so that's also possible next week, but I think we should be seeing a 13.4 Beta 1 very, very soon. Now, as for iOS 12.4.5, which was also released on the day of 13.3.1 for the older devices like the iPhone 6 here and all devices that don't support iOS 13, it's been running fine for me. It's basically the same as iOS 12.4.4 and 12.4.3, but with just some additional security enhancements and things like that. I haven't really noticed any difference in battery life, but it does seem a little bit smoother than 12.4.3 and 12.4.4 on my iPhone 6 in settings and in multitasking specifically, which I did talk about in my original video, but I can confirm that it definitely feels a little bit faster. But once again, it is just a very, very small security focused update. So, but still, it's pretty crazy that Apple is still supporting devices that are over 6 years old with the iOS 12. So it's crazy, and it definitely means good things for the future of iOS as well. Continuing to support older devices. You're not going to get new features or new, changes or anything like that, but you are going to get security patches and things like that, which is really, really nice. So once again, this was iOS 13.3.1, a very solid update for all devices, including the iPad up here, running iPadOS 13.3.1, my iPad Pro there, running perfectly fine as well on this update. So very glad I updated. I do hope that the text message bug does get fixed very soon, and hopefully Deep Fusion reverts back to not having that delay. But other than that, everything is looking pretty good right now, and I cannot wait for iOS 13.4. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Of course, leave a comment down below if you had any issues with 13.3.1, and make sure you guys do subscribe so you don't miss the next iOS update video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.